Welcome to today's Liquid Lunch. This is Gary Matan, president of Broadfield Distributing. And today I'm taking over the show. Jim will be back next week, but I'm taking it over because I was on the show a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to you about, what to sell, how to sell, where to go hunting. And I told you I was going to go to China. I was going to report back. Well, the folks in Absen were very gracious. They invited me to their Pioneering Pixels Spring event in Shenzhen, China, and I had a wonderful time, and I'm here to tell you all about it. So let's roll in. I'm going to tell you about the trip a little bit first, then we'll get into the Absen products and the presentations they gave me. But I had a wonderful time, and I want to thank everyone at Absen. They treated me so great. The people were so kind and so wonderful. First, I was just blown away by not just the architecture, but the amount of things being built in Shenzen. It is incredible. From what I was told 40 years ago, there was nothing there. This is a city that they determined to put factories in and people in. It's now a province that has over 20 million people in it. And I just want to say that there was construction everywhere. It was incredible. There were cranes, there were people working, and the buildings were being built up. And when I was driving there on the way, you could see, if you look at that lower picture, if we can bring it back in, that was just, it was incredible. It was like 40 50-story apartment buildings, 40 across, 5 to 10 deep. There's 20 million people in that province now. They build all the technology products. It's the home of LED manufacturing. So much other things are made there. I was just blown away, and it got even better when I got to visit Absen HQ and Absen headquarters. So nice. If you see the picture with the little bee, that's my girl Vicky. She's the one who handles our account and took us all around. And then in the bottom picture, you see all the people at Absen who are at the event. Once again, the people treated me so great. Absen is an amazing company. Their core values, which I'll get in a little bit, are just, I learned a lot on my trip to China. And the one thing I learned is I had a lot of preconceptions about China that just weren't right. And I learned a lot of things. And I'm happy to share with you what I learned about Absen and the products. And my favorite part of the show, my trip there, was touring the factory. Yes, I actually got a factory tour where I got to look at all the different ways they were building the machines, the rows of the machines. And believe it or not, in China, that is the size 5X smock, but it didn't quite work for me. And I don't know what the deal with the hats were, but this is what we had to wear when we went in there. When we went to the KLCOB part of the factory, we had to put on actually special booties as well. The factory was just incredible. In this picture, you don't see how many people were there, but it is amazing how many people worked in the factory. And the thing that really blew me away was Absen's commitment to quality control. All along the production lines, there were guys testing the walls. Not only were they testing the walls in the factory, when we walked between two factories, they had outdoor walls being tested. We got to go into the labs where they test these things with extreme heat, wind, water, pressure conditions. The QC and quality control at Absen blew me away. And, when we picked Absen as our video wall partner, we knew and had heard good things about their quality control, but seeing their dedication to it in person, I got to tell you, man, they just do a great job. What they do in this technology is just incredible. Let's jump into how this technology is being used, because it really blew me away. They had a room where you could see where the different stuff is used. So left hand, that's the actual panel where they put on their presentation. And, it's one thing to see someone making a presentation. People doing a presentation in front of like a 10-foot by 20-foot slightly curved wall, it just takes things to a whole nother level. It was so interactive. Then if we move across on the top, you'll see that they had like a stadium mock-up where you could see they have the video walls are actually on the boards, and they're also on top, and they had a scoreboard going. Then on the bottom right was an example of, doing like a newsroom or a newscast. And the center, this blew me away. This was a display that was KLCOB panels. And this thing had to be 20 feet wide, maybe 30 feet wide, 10 feet high. Just spectacular, I guess they picked what you're seeing on the screen so you can really see how fine the image looked. But it was just amazing how these things are used. When you get the feel of it, it's really good. At the end of the show, we're going to talk to you about the showrooms that they have that you can visit, including the new one that's opening in New York. But just, it was great to see how these walls are used. And I want to add something else that, one of the things I did is I took a tour and I walked around downtown Shenzhen with Vicky and Jessica, who runs the distribution channel for the Americas. And we went into one of their high-end shopping malls. And yeah, Jessica wanted to do a little shopping, but Vicky wanted to show me how video walls are everywhere. And it was amazing walking through the mall. There are video walls when you're walking through the mall with the stuff that's coming in ads. Almost every high-end retail store had a video wall in the front of it and video walls in the back of it to draw you into it. One of the things that cracked me up, there was like a Macallan store where you could actually buy and sip Macallan scotch, and it had a video wall showing off the Macallan 100 bottle spinning. One of the things we did on our tour is we went to the top of this building in Shenzhen. It's the 100. It's a 118 floor building, and the observation deck is a 360 deck. And what do they have in the observation deck? Video walls. Even though you're looking at this spectacular view wherever you look, there were still video walls integrated. And I just think that it's really, video walls have this other area that we're going to go into later in the show called DOOH, which is digital outside of the home. And we're really going to talk about that a little bit because as video technology resellers, I want to open your eyes to all the opportunities and places that you have customers who can use video walls. I was really impressed when Absen was giving their presentation. They talked about their core values. Now, every place I went in Absen, headquarters in the factory, had this pyramid on the wall. Of course, it was in Chinese, so it looked really cool, but I didn't know what it was. Seeing it in English was really amazing. You know, their core values of honesty, gratitude, and responsibility was really there. You could see they really cared about their people, they cared about quality, and they really cared about their customers and giving their customers the best value and experience. And that really aligns with Broadfield Distributing's core values, and I think a lot of our dealers as well. So not what I was really expecting to see, but I was really blown away by it. They also gave a little look at where the Pro AV market is. And this is why I want to stress this, that the world is changing from video. And where there used to be video boxes and things you could buy all the time, the world is changing. The world of video production and Pro AV are colliding, and video's becoming glass to SaaS to glass. What do I mean by that? You can have glass, which is cameras. You can have the bulk of the video editing things be done as a digital model. It'll be done in software. That software might live in the cloud. It might live on premises. It might live in another one of your offices or another location, but it's software based. And then there's glass at the end. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There's really no money for, where do people watch video? Phones. There's no money to be made in that anymore. Computer monitors. No one's making money in that anymore. Televisions. No one's making any money on that anymore. And even large LCD panels. No one's making money on that anymore. But what's a great opportunity to make some money? Video walls, because video walls are what we're going to see in the future. If you look at these charts that these showed us, you know, Pro AV global revenue grew from $300 billion in 2023 to $325 billion in 2024. They're estimating over the next 5 years it's going to grow to $400 billion. And even more important for you, our video dealers in America, the North American market is expected to hit $100 billion in 2024. Now, I know it's 2025. They should have said whether they did or didn't. I have a feeling it's a slide that was carried over. But in talking to them, they assured me that the market did hit $100 billion. Absen also showed off their portfolio. Now, I know if you go to the Absen website, you're going to see a whole bunch of different series and screens. But what they really stress is they're going to start focusing on a narrower group of products. And we're happy to be participating in a lot of those products. So for indoor COB, that's the latest technology. We have the KL COB 2.5s in stock in our Los Angeles location. They have indoor SMD products. And for those, we have the NX series, which has really been our best sellers. And then they have the Icon series, which are all-in-one boxes. And then they have DOOH, digital outside of home. Now, this is a huge opportunity. This takes digital signage to a whole other level. Sometimes it's outdoors, sometimes it's indoors. But what you really see is, let's say when I was walking around the mall, as my example was earlier, an LED screen is bright enough that even a mall flooded with natural sunlight and other light, you can still see that screen while you're going up the escalator. An LCD screen, I'm sorry, you're not going to see that from 50, 60 feet away at a wide angle. Same thing when you're coming into like a corporate offices, you know, an LED wall just has a bigger impact. You see it, it looks great, wider. So while these screens cost a lot more, a multiple more than LCDs, I really think it's the future and where we're going. And it's going to be some kind of mixture between Blade Runner and Minority Report. But some of the areas they gave me an example of where screens are being used is As an example, a lot of government agencies and specifically police and fire departments are using video walls for their command and control centers. A lot of restaurants and event spaces are now putting video walls in as a way to offer entertainment. Maybe they're playing a movie or a video on it, or they're integrating with the band, whoever the talent is who's there. Like I said, you're seeing a lot of it in retail. They talked about how, in China, almost every car dealership has a video wall in it. You'll see the upper level car dealers, you're seeing video walls. So I know to those of you in pro video, our pro video dealers, you're really saying these are AV products, they're not for me. And I'm going to say, yes, it's a different market, but you're talking to customers who create content and video, and a lot of them are also having that same customer want that video to have somewhere to be displayed. So what I want you to do is just reach out and talk to your customers and find out what they're doing and let them know that you can get them these video walls. It could be as simple as an all-in-one icon, or it could be something that's custom made to fit where you need it to be. And Absen has a great team to help you design the video wall. And I also suggest you reach out to local consultants in your area who may be consulting for buildings and renovations and commercial spaces who are designing in and speccing in video walls, because that's what the end customer wants, because they know the impact that it has. And it's a great way to brand your company by having a video wall in your corporate offices. Now for the sad part of the show. Wah, wah. Tariffs are a real thing, and they're really coming. The good news is that Absen is supporting the channel. And how are they doing it? By absorbing some of the impact of the tariffs. As many of you have seen, there's the 20% tariff being charged on imports from China. Well, Absen is going to split that. They're going to take 10% of it, and they're going to, the word they're using is absorbing it. They're absorbing that 10%, so we're only passing on 10%. I want to stress that Absen, for now, is not raising their MSRP prices. Rather, they're adding tariffs as a line item charge on your invoice. So let's say you're ordering a video wall from us, and it's a $30,000 video wall. You might have $2,400 in freight, and you're going to have a $3,000 line item charge for tariffs. How you choose to absorb that and the way you quote up to your customers is up to you. There are very good margins on these products, so I definitely think you can absorb all or a chunk of it, depending on how your customers are. But the tariffs are the real deal, except when they're not. And when are they not tariffs? When the goods are already in the good old USA. So in our Broadfield West location, we have KLCOB 2.5s, and we have Icon 136 inventory, both touch and non-touch, available. And with the new 2.5 panels, we did sell out of those, but we have more coming. They should be in the end of April. And I just want to let everyone know we're getting a really big shipment in of those panels. They have the 10% tariff on them, but I'm going to make an offer that if you order them before those units reach our warehouse, I will split the cost of that 10% tariff with you as Mr. Dealer. So if you get your NX 2.5 order in between now and when those goods hit, pre-order them. You'll have to put a deposit on them to get the 5% off, but we want to know that we can move some of those as soon as they get there. So pre-tariff inventory specials, call your Broadfield rep now for specials from Broadfield stock. And I also want to stress that Absen has a phenomenal staff of people in the United States, both direct people and reps and consultants that they work with. So if you sniff an opportunity for a video wall and you bring it into us, we will bring in the infantry. We'll call in the direct Absen people, the reps, the consultants, whoever you need to help get that sale closed, because we want to work with you and help you get into this very lucrative and expanding and growing market, being LED video walls. Let's jump into the product specifically. Absen Special. Absen has a double dip opportunity on the Absen Icon X136 all-in-ones that we have in stock now. It's basically almost a 10-foot wide wall. It's about 6 feet high. You get everything. It comes shipped to you in a chest about the size of like a refrigerator. You get the panels. You get everything you need, plus you get some extra panels and reserves to have for you to hold on the side for your customer. Well, we have them in stock, so you can double dip. What do I mean by that? Number one, pre-tariff inventory. So we have it in a pre-tariff pricing. Even bigger than that, Absen is promoting them by giving you, the dealer, some additional margin. It could be an additional 5 or 10% margin, depending on what tier you are with Absen. Call your Broadfield rep to figure out your final pricing. But they're not changing the MSRP. So this is a pure profit opportunity for you to go after that business. And I know one of the main competitors to Absen on these walls is LG, and they've already announced a 20% tariff hike. So you really have an opportunity to spec these in and steal some business from the competition, or get your customers to close on it. These video walls are, when you buy one of the icons, having it installed is included as part of it from your quote from us. One second, I gotta take a sip. As I mentioned earlier, we have more inventory coming into BDI West in April. In fact, we have taken out additional warehouse space to be able to handle all the Absen business we're doing. And the NX series has been far and away our biggest seller. So we have our biggest shipment ever coming in. The order's been placed. We hope to have the goods, the end of April. It always depends on factors like shipping and freight, but we found that by going to the West Coast, we can get the inventory in faster and even cheaper since it's not going through the Panama Canal. Want to remind you, the NX series that we handle are 2.5 pixel pitch. If you're looking for 1.8 or lower, we can get it for you. We just don't have it in stock right now. Basically, you're looking at 800 nit brightness, a great refresh rate. One of the things was, prior to these shipments, we were ordering a version that had a little bit better processor with a higher refresh rate. Going forward, all the NX series will have this processor in it, which just means we won't have to have any kind of premium. It'll be one size fits all with the higher refresh rate at the price of what the ones without the refresh rate were. Once again, I do apologize. We ran out of stock on these, so the new ones that we're going to have will have the tariff on it. But like I said, if you place your order, give us a 20% deposit before the goods get there, we will give you a 5% discount. We will split the tariff 10% with you and only charge you 5% tariff. KLCOB, that was really the star of the show when I was at Absen. It is amazing the technology they've got in there. Ours are 1.2s, which is a very narrow dot pitch, so they're great for when you're going to really be close to the screen. We've had some great success and interest in those. They really are where the future is going with the chip on board. That's what the COB stands for. You definitely want to get those in there. They're really phenomenal, and we have those in stock at pre-tariff pricing. And when we run out, the next batch we're going to get in is going to have a 10% kicker on it unless something changes from the federal government. So that's how we're doing it. But KLCOBs are in stock. Order today. All right, so one of the things that I got to see at Absen, which was really cool, is they were demonstrating a future technology product. And what it was is if you can see, I stood in front of the screen. Can we bring this up full screen? I know it's going to get a little blurry, but it's because I took the picture on my phone. That was me standing there in my slumpy little, blue shirt and all that. And it put me in a dun-dun-dun suit. Well, the suit was cool, but guess what? I could even get in other outfits. I just thought this technology was really cool, and I wanted to share it for you because it's just opened up your eyes to how LEDs can become more interactive and how can we work AI with an LED together so that things get even better and cooler in the future. Coming soon, and this is real important, one of the things that's great is to be able to see a video wall, and a great way to sell your customers on why they should go with an Absen video wall is to have them see it in person. So Absen has experience centers. There are experience center locations right now in Orlando, Dallas, Kansas City, and Los Angeles. And the New York City, this is opening end of next week, grand opening. And if you or one of your customers and you're in the New York metro area, you want to show them what these walls look like, we'd love to take you into the showroom and set up an appointment. Call your Broadfield rep to get you set up with that, but the showroom's going to be super cool, and it's going to have all the kinds of displays, not exactly what you saw, but kind of what I saw when I was walking around HQ at Absen with that stuff that I showed you. So definitely hit that, and then they'll be at NAB as well. So, Absen will have a booth at NAB if you want to see their stuff over there as well. This is Gary from Broadfield Distributing. I want to thank you so much. I had a wonderful trip. I learned so much about China. I can't get over it. I just want to say thank you again to not just Absen, but all the people I met, the Chinese people inside Absen, and those I met in the hotels and the retail stores at the restaurants were so kind and so nice. And think we've got a little perception of China that might not be 100% right in the United States. Now, what I will tell you is, I definitely knew they were watching me. There were cameras everywhere. And when you got to a street corner, I knew they were taking my picture. And a lot of doors had facial recognition type stuff. And I even found out that they have the ability in Shenzhen to give a ticket to the passenger for not wearing a seatbelt because their cameras are that good. So you know you're being watched. But as so many of my Chinese new friends who I met told me, no worries, which basically means if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you got nothing to worry about. So it's not the same as the freedoms we have in the United States, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a phenomenal trip. And I'm just glad to share with you some of what I learned on the trip about China and Absen. And I really want to emphasize again that video walls are a phenomenal opportunity for you. You know your customers are creating content. Find out if any of that content's going on a video wall and give us a call. We're happy to get you started in the business. If you're already in the Pro AV business and you sell other lines of video walls, let's say you sell row or planar or unilumens, give us a call. The Absen stuff is great. We'd love to pitch you why you should be selling Absen to your customers with or instead of what you're selling today. Absen's a great manufacturer. Their quality is phenomenal. They have great service in the U.S. They have U.S. service that's both technical and pre-sales. They have the showrooms. They have the ability where they're giving you replacement screens and replacement parts are coming from the U.S. And they are just a phenomenal company to do business with. I'm so glad they invited me to visit China. I had a great time. And I'm inviting you to join us on this path to video walls with Absen. Make more money, sell more stuff. This is Gary from Broadfield Distributing. Thank you so much. 21 minutes. I ran a little long, but I like to talk. Jim will be back next week. Thank you, folks. Broadfield Distributing, good selling.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers. So call us at 1-800-634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.